thank you very much, above all, for accepting our invitation, and congratulations to the success that your movie obtained not only during the Not Film Festival. I was also part of the jury with our common friend Luca and David. And I can now disclose my personal vote. I voted for your movie. So that's not because you're here, but because I really liked it and I found very inspirational. Now, let's just start asking the top questions that I have prepared for our interview, which is going to be published on the FilmAmo.it website that you probably know already because it's a topic that you surely have already tackled with Luca. Now, this film vividly captures the contrast of contemporary Brazil. What inspired you to deepen into this specific socio-cultural landscape, and what messages do you aim to convey through the characters of the movies?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for your kind words and to have this opportunity to speak about the movie a little bit and exchange impressions. Well, the film started of the idea of working about toxic relationships that we experienced on the daily basis, with a specific focus on the difficulty we have pushing away people that harm us because we are afraid of the loneliness. And there was a point that we recognized there was an inversion of a popular quote in Brazil that we say better alone than poorly accompanied. And we inverted to better poorly accompanied than alone. And this was a moral inversion sign. So this was the main idea.
Yeah, basically we have a very similar saying in Italy. We say meglio soli che male accompagnati. And I believe that this is precisely the same message that you've just conveyed, Gabriel. And the film touches the clash between traditional values and the allure of the American dream, but an American dream unique to Brazil, who is a very young society, is the fastest growing society in Latin America. Can you elaborate on your choice of themes and the significance of this cultural battle, this cultural clash, if there is any, if you agree with my point?
Yeah, I was thinking about this question, and I think we seek a work about the human conflicts and kind of put in a magnifying glass about our judgment as a spectator. And I think it caused a huge shock in our current world, like this dialectic Western world, about being pre-evaluating situations and preconceptions. And so the theme of loneliness, it was always worked within the idea of evaluating the choices and company. So as a meaning of this tug of war, I think I prefer to listen what the public and critics think about. I feel better.
Yeah, no, very clear. Thank you. Now, I don't know whether my information is up to date, but at the time where the film was presented in Italy in the Not Film Festival, the film had not secured distribution yet. What challenges did you face bringing this project to the fruition, and what are your hopes for this film to be available to a much wider audience?
Well, I think I can say that, but internationally we have just signed a partnership with FilmAmo, and we should start international distribution this year. And well, in Brazil, making an independent film, it's a challenge from the beginning to the end. It's like wanting to be an astronaut or something similar. I mean, little money, first competition, distribution bottlenecks, and I'm really hoping that the international disclosure will help to unlock some negotiations we are carrying here in our hometown. So, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Because I think also in Italy there are some interesting developments, and we should be part of this project as well, hopefully. And I think the film really merits to be accessible to a much wider audience. Uh, Another comparison now, if you allow, I belong to a generation who was raised during the 60s and the 70s in a totally different environment. So in the 50s and 60s, Hollywood projected the image of the American dream, an American dream, a sort of soft power which was spread globally, shaping societies, aspiring to overcome poverty, to overcome and to get rid of the tragedy of the war, but of course according to the American dream model, so a family, a house, a car, some kind of wealth. Now, today, what does Gabriel Alvim intend to convey, to portray? Because it seems to me that today's reality is much more complicated, at least because of the distance.
Well, I think we are very, very close. We Brazilians, I mean, and South Americans, but especially Brazilians, we are very close to our brothers from the North America, because of the soft power, but also because of a cultural proximity, and I think that it's not very usual in arts, especially in films here in Brazil. People who do that, who assume that proximity to the American culture, without being like ashamed of something that is more commercial, because you can also be very, very close to the American culture in the independent aspects, as I always use the John Cassavetes as an example. So I think in our movie there is a very nihilistic and hedonism in the film. I think it's quite different from films we usually produce here in Brazil. I can say that for sure. So I think the message about social aspirations and unique challenges are between the lines and in the uncompromising dialogues and the day by day, So I think the simple situations can bring us the richness of our culture. And I mean, we are not trying to impose a lesson, and we don't offer a happy ending. So I think with what we have, it's reality, life as it is. And yeah, I think it's done.
No, thank you. It's really enlightening what you say, because I had also the same feeling in watching your movie, and that was one of the aspects that not shocked but impressed me above all, was the fact that those actors being so spontaneous and so close to reality, but at the same time they were conveying a sense of depth, which was absolutely desperate. I mean, a sense of solitude, a sense of loneliness was also accompanying. That was my personal feeling along the whole duration of the movie. And now let's just talk about the actors, Gabriel. Working with your favorite actors can bring a sense of familiarity, but also carries the risk of creating a comfort zone. All major art directors, if I'm talking about, Dino Risi or Federico Fellini of the 60s, that you surely know, they were all, how can I say, spoiled by their own actors, and they were also spoiling their own actors. So don't you think there is a risk of creating this commonplace being so close to your favorite actors, which is also an inevitable part of life?
Yes, I think the risk exists, but it is pushed away because of our workflow and the way we worked. So I think the friction that we bring, it's something greater than the rational computer that perform the tasks, and we believe that is in the unconscious. And as the same engine only exists in this context, we are doing is like kind of an excavation, and this excavation will always reveal some surprises. And once the actor actually decides to join us and he's accepted by the group, the process, I think, it's extremely rewarding to everyone.
Yeah.
And every time it will be different, and because we are different, and the friction will always be different. So I think the way we work, bringing down everything the actors have before, during the process, the preconceptions, and creating an ambience of conviviality, so people can stay together, not only playing some situations, but also having some water and exchanging impressions. I mean, I'm not talking about having like 2 months of rehearsal, because this would be wonderful. But we had like 15 days,
Wow.
which is good today, to have 15 days with all these people working on one project, you know. So yeah, with this process, I'm not afraid of this comfort zone of commonplace.
Sure. And just out of my curiosity, Gabriel, did you also accept some changing of the script or the lines of the actors as you were shooting the different scenes of the movie, or were you very strict in following a certain path?
Well, I think we did a lot of creative process during rehearsal. So the script, it was like very shorter than it became when we were rehearsing. And during rehearsing, we worked out like the physic actions that we have in theater. So the movementations. I like to say that the actors work during filming and rehearsal and filming. It was like a downhill ski, because you have to pull flags, you have a way to go, but you have to think how to do the curves. And so they know where they came from and where they have to go in each scene, like the traditional scheme of the variations, the beat. But yes, they created some things during filming, for sure.
Absolutely. Now that's a very interesting aspect. Now, what are the key influences of Gabriel Alvim that inspired his work? I mean, is any author, any subject, any particular style, any director that shaped your approach to this visual storytelling? Is there any master that you like or that inspired you most of all?
Well, I think my main inspirations came from theater. The first ones in this art, so especially from reading plays, but in cinema I can say John Cassavetes and Bergman, for sure. And I think they have always pushed the boundaries between fiction and reality, and with high dramaturgy involved. And as not coincidentally, both of them came from theater. And yeah, those two.
Excellent. That's also very, very interesting element, because theater is, of course, the how can I say, the noble ancestor of cinema, and many. I mean, it's a inevitable. How can I say, inevitable exercise camp for many actors and many directors. The last question is concerning the the future? I mean, after completing ForNever alone, are there specific themes or genres that Gabriel Alvim wants to explore in future projects?
Well, I'm interested in artistic works that point to a world in creation, completely new and unsuspected. So now I have a more ambitious project. It's called When Buying a Horse, Go Riding a Horse, about violent farm stories that take place in the contemporary Brazil Midwest backlands. So it's a kind of wild tales, the Relatos Selvagens, um, from the Argentinian director. In And I have another one with a Cassavetsian spirit about a couple who just have a kid and have to deal with this death questions, because well, we have to put our feet on reality and know that sometimes you can have the money to have an ambitious project, but you can do something with a little feel. And that, well, I'm talking to you now with one of this project, these independent projects that we shoot it with a very small budget.
Yeah.
And well, besides that, I have two plays also that I'm trying to stage this year. So this is it.
Excellent, excellent.
The material.
Absolutely. When can we welcome you back to Italy, Gabriel?
Well, I hope this year.
Okay. Great.
This year. Let's
Great.
see the results.
Great. So thank you very much. I mean, I hope that you're gonna like the recording of this impromptu interview, because there are always some technical features, but I'm quite used to find an emergency exit, and our technicians will help also to improve the quality of this video. And yeah, thank you very much again for your time. Thank you very much again for your replies, and we very much look forward to see you back in Italy ASAP.
Yes. I'm very happy to talk to you, to know that you voted for our movie. The Not Film Festival was a very, very warming place to screen, and well, I'm really grateful to the Italians. I'm a great fan. You mentioned Dino Risi. Well, I'm a great fan from the Italian cinematography, and this is it. Hope to visit you soon.
Yeah, and also we hope to come back to Brazil. I mean, I was in Brazil a couple of times for business and for private reasons, but I left a part of my heart. I was the first time in Florianopolis and the second time in Rio, and yeah, of course, it's
great place.
Yeah, absolutely. I was really fascinated and mesmerized by the composition and the variety of cultures. Just let me just bring up one of the memories I have. The second time I was there for a show, for a business show in Rio, one of my local friends brought me to a sort of a music club in Botafogo, which is called the Rio Scenario. So yes. There are several floors with several music styles on each floor. And I found this a perfect place that I would love to visit again on my next occasion, because it was really a place that you cannot find in Europe, and you could not replicate the same spirit and the same allure out of the place where it exists. So it was a very fond memory that I have there.
Yeah, it's great to share this memory. I think Brazil is a very special place.
Yeah.
I hope that you came here the next time you just write me. If I'm next to you, I will just lead you to some places. And Lucas said to me that Rome is the best place in the world, and Brazil the second best. I would say that Brazil maybe it's a tropical Rome.
Correct.
Rio, São Paulo.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
We have a lot of things.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Gabriel, again. We are perfectly in time. We spent just 20 minutes, which makes our interview even more effective. And again, all the best. Let me cross my fingers for your future. I'm very confident it's going to be brilliant. And we'll be in touch.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.